Good evening, my dear friends, and thank you for joining me on this very wet Wednesday evening here in Cumbria. It is good to have your company at this late hour. But first, before we begin, could I invite you to light a candle with ours for peace, where we send peace, love, and blessing from our hearts out into this beautiful world, where so many of God's children, our brothers and sisters, are wounded in mind, in body, and spirit. So we light this light in the name of our Father, Mother, God, who creates life, in the name of the risen cosmic Christ, who loves life, in the name of the Spirit, who is the fire of life, in the name of Gaia, our beloved Earth Mother, and Mother Mary, our spiritual mother, who both nurtured the divine life within each child of God, our brothers and sisters. And in the name of spiritual diversity, we welcome you to this table of love. Let us be still now and just relax. And I would like to begin by playing a beautiful chant by a dear friend, and it's called Sacred.
You are sacred. When I'm close to you, sacred, sacred. When I'm close to you, oh, I know that I love you. You are who you are, my man. Touch me, sacred. Feel me naked. When I'm close to you, I feel sacred, so sweet. When I'm close to you, I feel I love you. I love you. I love you.
Beautiful. So beautiful, those words. And I hope that you can hear me and see me okay. And now I'd like us just to begin by reading to you a reflection that was shared on Martin Luther King Day, a commemorative program invocation. And I was guided to read this 5 minutes ago. And it's called A Tiny Wellspring, a Thundering River. The story is told of a hiker who enjoyed vacationing in the wooded ravines of northern Wisconsin. And one day he came across a beautiful, crystal clear rivulet of pure spring water. Wow. Warm from his hike, he improvised a drinking cup out of the crown of his hat, and after dipping it into the brook, he took a long, satisfying drink of sparkling water. The hiker decided to follow the winding stream up the valley to its source. Hidden deep in the recesses of the forest, the water was bubbling up from a mossy bed and sparkled like the purest diamonds in the sunlight. Yet the font of the spring was so small that he could literally cover the spot of origin with the palm of his hand. Even so, he could not stop the flow. The water oozed through his fingers and made its way down the valley, singing gaily as it went about its journey of mercy, to carry its life-sustaining blessing to bird and beast, to flower and field, leaving everything in its path green and beautiful, healthier and happier. This assembly, this day, has been set aside to honor the memory of a single, solitary, humble life. The life of a man who both had a dream and who lived that dream. Like the tiny font of the river in our parable, the man we honor this day was a wellspring. His ideals, his convictions, his faith bubbled up from their sacred source within and pushed through the mossy overgrowth of bigotry and intolerance, bursting forth into the light of a better day. Though the point of origin may have been small, a mighty river of morality and social commitment has truly flowed forward from it. Though some tried to block the brook's flow, some tried, oh so mightily nevertheless, as the psalmist declared, the Eternal One projected truth forward, and nothing could stifle its inevitable surge ahead. And that's from Psalm 57, verse 53. We gather together this day on the banks of a truly majestic river of thought that has made its way out from its modest source and travelled on its journey of mercy until eventually it has touched every haven and hamlet across this great nation. It is none other than the river of liberty and justice for all, which offers its life-sustaining message to men and women of every race and creed, leaving everything in its path green, beautiful, healthier, and happier. And so, dear friends, let us pause to give thanks to the source of all life for having placed this courageous dreamer in our midst. We ought truly to be grateful for the manifold blessings that have come to us as our birthright, even as we rededicate ourselves on this day in particular to the thundering admonition of the prophet, do justly, love mercy, and walk humbly before your God. And that is the wonderful prophet Micah. Thankful are we for those unrelenting visionaries, for men and women whose towering faith constitutes a veritable wellspring of hope that nourishes our spiritual hungers and fortifies our wavering souls. May the words of our mouths and the meditations of our hearts be acceptable before you, O source of all life, our strengths and support. And that's by Gary P. Zola. Why was I guided to read that? I can't say. But towards the end of what I read, may the words of our mouths and the meditations of our hearts be acceptable before you, O source of all life, our strength and support. I began to feel a fluttering in my heart that you and I have been called by the same God, the same source, to be ambassadors of peace, wellsprings of life, bringing renewed energy and hope into a beautiful world, a world I call the Cathedral of Life, the Cathedral of God, a cathedral of light with no walls, where black and white, believer and non-believer are welcome. Martin Luther King, yes, was a great man who did great things for God by breaking down barriers put there by man. And so today, it is my understanding that our Father, Mother, God Supreme is not touching the hearts of the academics, but the hearts of ordinary men and women who have surrendered their heart to love. And rather than procrastinate and cogitate and deliberate, they accept the invitation to walk that simple path where less is more, and to live in this amazing world but not be of it, to pass through, holding everything light and not allowing our hearts become bogged down by other people's dramas. I guess in truth, we're all called to be like Martin Luther King, because each one of us has a vision, and the vision was put there by God, that we would reclaim our birthright, that we would listen to our heart, which is Christ consciousness. And the moment we surrender our heart to that invitation, we become other Christs. We don't need to go on a worldwide trip to find the Holy Grail. The Holy Grail is already within us. The moment we open our mind, our body, and our spirit to welcome in the Christ light and the light of the divine feminine aspect of God, it is my understanding that we become a living, mobile Holy Grail. Let me read on, singing a new song. There comes a time to break the silence. There comes a time to move beyond fear. There comes a time to speak one's truth even if it will not be welcome. There comes a time to call into question what has gone before, to resist the weight of the past. And there comes a time for the singing of a new song, for a different way of being, for the claiming of power. There comes a time when the truth shall at last make us free. One day, blessedly, the practiced lie dies on our lips, and the truth becomes more precious than the same, and the pretending ends. There comes a time when somehow courage finds us, or we find courage, and we dare to know who we are and what we love. There comes a time when friends are there, holding us so gently in their love, that all at once the impossible is possible, and we cross over to the other side of whatever bondage held us. There comes a time when the truth at last makes us free, and in that moment is the salvation of the world. Let us be still and relax, and let us just embrace the Cathedral of God in all its beauty and receive its blessing. Come now, let us walk together through nature's woodland, where I was this afternoon when I took our little dogs for a little walk through the sacred woodlands nearby. And it was an amazing experience because no one was there. And as you walked on the carpet of leaves, you could feel the crunch of the leaves that were once healthy and suddenly went into mourning and fell from the tree. And Mother Nature provided a carpet of the most beautiful colors of leaves. And as I walked through the woodland, I just sensed the beauty of what it is to be at peace, what it is to embrace silence, and what it is to be one with nature. Walk with me through this woodland, and let us find a redundant tree where we can sit on it and reflect. And as we relax in this beautiful oasis of love, let us sense the peace and the love of the Creator God Goddess. And I invite you to take off your shoes and place your bare feet on the sacred earth. Because Mother Earth wishes to bless your feet. Because she knows that you bring so much love and healing to the landscape by sending out waves of positive energy, not negative energy. So by your feet now, the elementals of the woodland have come to wash your feet. And now they dry them with their hair. Gaia Mother Earth comes and kneels before you, and she touches your feet with her rays of healing love to prepare you to welcome the Christ light, the cosmic Christ with the divine feminine, and experience a soul therapy, the anointing of your spirit with their love. And Mother Earth places her hands on your eyelids and closes them and invites you to take a deep breath and hold it, and now release love in the Cathedral of God, the landscape. And Mother Earth places her hands on your heart to prepare your heart to welcome the Christ light. We take a deep breath. We hold that in breath, and now we relax. And Mother Earth takes your hands and places your hands in her hands, and she blows on them her energetic love to cleanse them and to become like a butterfly's wings, an offering of love, so that everything we touch, we give her blessing to. And Mother Earth invites us to be still in the presence of all the great spiritual teachers, in the presence of the Ascended Masters. And she calls the angels and archangels to come, and they come. There is a procession of angels with Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, Uriel, and Metatron, and many more, and they're coming along the pathway from the nearby wood, and they're coming to you. And you can smell the incense, frankincense, and you can hear the trumpets, the angelic trumpets, announcing the presence of the cosmic Christ. And suddenly, he stands before you. He stands before you, and he connects with your eyes. And all of a sudden, you feel as if you are melting like a marshmallow. The rays of his love are piercing your heart, releasing all fear, all sadness, all anger and bitterness, and chipping away at old religious beliefs and traditions and cultures, and replacing it with a new vision, spirituality, allowing you to see beyond what the mind can see. The Christ allows you to see the Father, Mother, God in the kingdom of love. And behind him stands Magdalena the Beloved. She is the twin flame of Jesus the cosmic Christ, and they both come to you. And Jesus stands in front of you, and Magdalena behind you, and they form an archway by touching each other with you in the center, as if you're under an umbrella, and all of a sudden the energies of diaphragmatic energy of the divine masculine and feminine enfold you, cocoon you into an oyster shell of love, and all is well. And you feel the waves of their healing love release from your mind all negative mindsets and replace them with joy, with love, and with peace. Experience the love that they have for you. Experience the joy that awaits you. And they're now inviting you to surrender your heart to this amazing love. And Magdalena speaks quietly to your heart. Behold, enfold, hold and listen to your heart, your teacher. Embrace all that you are as a beloved of God, for you are a child of God, created in the image and likeness of God. And suddenly you feel as if your heart has missed a beat, but you haven't. You've gained an additional beat, and it is the beat of the diaphragmatic energy of the Christ and Magdalena, empowering you now to take back your power and reawaken your heart to love, their love for you as a beloved of God. And they ask nothing of you, only to allow their love flow freely into your mind, your body and spirit. And you say yes. And suddenly angels begin to sing the great Alleluia, rejoicing that this child of God has surrendered their heart to love, to God's love. And as you come round, you open your eyes and you're in the woodland, and everything has taken on a whole new meaning for you. You feel light. You feel grounded and protected and loved in your heart. Experience that love. Take ownership of that love. And now let us remember the children of God who are hurting in mind, in body and spirit, especially with Ebola and those who care for them. Let us breathe in the breath of God as we say, breathe on me, breath of God. Fill me with life anew, that I may love what thou dost love, and do what thou wouldst do. breathe in that peace.